my business is event planning and walking tours. It's not mobile apps. So I simply have a story to tell you of my journey over the last 2 or 3 years in developing a mobile app for my new business. It's truly been an adventure for me. I started my business, my initial business, in the days of an IBM Selectric and a telex machine. And at that time, that's what we call doing business internationally, with having a big telex in your office. This journey,
Speaking
probably from
microphone so that we can.
Yeah. Okay. This journey towards this mobile app that I'm almost proud of, because it'll be launching in about 2 months, has been about 4 years. 4 years ago, when the economy crashed, I was in a really uncomfortable industry to be in because all the meetings canceled. Everything came to a skidding halt. And with an eye towards continuing to support my family and stay in business, I started to think about what, I have to take this off because it's staining against my big clunky stuff. With an eye towards diversifying, which, I strongly advise to everybody, because you don't be in the wrong industry with limited options at the time. So, as an event planner with 25 years experience in the event planning business, I decided to look and see what I could do, what else I could do to wait for the meetings to start coming back. And what I stumbled upon was the experience that I had scripting walking tours. For years I'd been scripting tours for tour guides to deliver on buses. I decided to give it a little twist because technology was changing so much. And instead of having bus tours that canceled because we couldn't get 35 people to go on the bus at 1 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon, a walking tour, an individual personalized walking tour, gave them the opportunity to take that tour of the city at their leisure with whoever they wanted, whenever they wanted. I also wanted to do something that was fitness friendly because, heaven knows, corporate America has got wellness programs and fitness programs. There are trainers popping up all over the place. There are gyms going up all over the place. And America finally is getting fit. And that was something that I also wanted to work into my new business model. And the third thing that I found very important was going green. So if you take the concept of going green, and my tours are audio. So there's no papers, there's no brochures, there's nothing to throw away. The app includes a map of the walking tour so that you can print it if you want to, but you don't have to. There are no bus fumes. There's no carbon footprint at all for my walking tours. As far as the fitness aspect of them, my shortest tour is a mile. My longest tour is 2.6 miles, but we do make lunch suggestions in the middle, so for those people that don't want to do a straight 2.5 miles, they can stop and take a break and split the tour into 2. So I had all my E's lined up. I had exercise, I had environmentally friendly, I had educational, and I had 2 more that I like to say. They're exciting and they're energizing. And benefiting from 25 years of recognition in the industry with a business called first Welcome Florida, then Welcome Events, I decided to name this walking tour company Welcome Walks. So now I had this business, I had this great concept, but all I needed now was cutting edge technology, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do. I don't speak tech. 2.5 years ago when I started down this path, I didn't even know how to change the signature line on my email. I made it a point always to employ people like the 20-somethings or the Gen Xers, who are, I guess, older than 20s now, but people that could go on the internet and find me everything I wanted and change my signature line. In addition to just embracing technology, I had to learn all the gadgets and the platforms and the delivery systems for my walking tours. And there's a lot of technology. Not only is it in the delivery system that comes through with the way that you get the walking tour from the phones, but in the way you make the walking tours, because what I didn't realize at the time is after I artfully designed and wrote them, I needed to get them recorded. And I needed to get sound effects laid in. I needed the ding-ding of the cable car in San Francisco and the the clippity-clop of the horses in Savannah, and I needed to lay them into the walking tours with voice talent. And that's a great way to find out what your voice really sounds like, is record one of my walking tours. And of course, we came to the realization that we had to pay voice talent, because no matter how sexy your voice sounds, in person, it's not a professional walking tour voice. For several years, as I plodded along in trying to launch this company, I looked for a partner. I knew I wanted to open this company, but I knew I didn't know the tech end of things. So I looked and looked and looked for a technology partner, and it just didn't work out that way. I didn't find somebody I liked and I trusted and had the same time availability that I did. What I did find is sort of a single shingle gal in Austin, Texas, who had no real experience with mobile apps. She was a website designer, but she spoke English so that we could communicate about these techy things and I could understand them. And she was fascinated by what I was trying to do. And so I hired her, and I hired her on a retainer. And that was 2 years ago. It has taken a lot of collaborating. It has taken a lot of experimentation. And this is basically on the website, you know, and the recording of the tours, its shopping cart and privacy issues. And the way that my company is designed, my clients, each one of my clients has their own portal into their own tour, because the tours are customized. So there's a privacy issue and there's an individual portal issue. It took me about 6 months to design the website and to pick the shopping cart and test that out and make it work. And I think what really pushed me, we're getting to the mobile app part now, what really pushed me towards embracing the technology is that I sold 1,500 downloads of San Francisco to a client of mine just sold it, just talked her into it, told her what I was doing long before I was ready to do it. And we were all set to go, but what happened was that these people were key customers. It was like a key customer meeting in San Francisco, and they did not have their computers. They were not bringing their computers on site. They won the trip and they were to have a good time. And so they did not have the ability to download my tour on their computers at home and transfer it to their mobile devices, the iPad, the iPod, or whatever they were going to take the tour with, which was a gasp, oh my gosh moment. And we tried contacting them in advance to let them know to download it on their computers, and that didn't work either. So we needed to come up with a delivery system that was going to work when they got to San Francisco on site. Enter the mobile app. And that began my incredible education in the app world. Why do you need an app? First, why did I need an app to deliver those walking tours? For portable usability. As best I understand it, after a couple of years now of learning about it, when you have the mobile app, and you'll see that I put some handouts in everybody's place with a picture of the front of one of my tours. When you have the mobile app, everything appears on the screen, so you can see that. Let me just look at it for a minute. I want to pick up somebody else's here. You can see that the tour, the customer, everything that you need to know to walk into that tour is right there on the front of the iPhone. This is an iPhone. This is on my iPhone. And you push that button and you press begin tour. The one thing we have changed is instead of a little button there for sponsors, that little button now says map. And it's how they get to the map of the San Francisco tour, which will give you on the iPhone screen a picture of the tour route from start to finish with the stops numbered all along. So again, the portable usability, it's like right there, everything they need to know. They push one button, they look at the map. Now if you look at the second page, what they do is push one, each stop is also highlighted here. So when you push the first stop, you then, with your iPhone's in, you then are listening to the first stop of the San Francisco tour, and you're looking at a photograph of Nob Hill or the Fairmont Hotel or whatever it happens to be. So that, and all that is triggered by just pushing one little button on the iPhone. The information fits where it needs, and the real beauty of the app is that you can use it anywhere at any time. So you can stand in the parking lot and you can access the San Francisco walking tour just right there. So that's why an app. It's a little bit unwieldy to scroll around. It looks much different. I can't show it to you. But when you download it from a computer onto this iPhone or onto the iPad, it looks much different. It's just a little bit more awkward to tool around with. The difference, and you can probably better help me with it, I hope I don't mess it up, but the difference that I understand between a mobile app and a native app is that, and the reason we opted for a mobile app, because I went down the path of both, and I did exhaustive research with several different companies for both types. What I understand is that a mobile app makes the most sense because all of my use for this app is going to be on mobile devices, whether it's, you know, the iPad or the iPhone or the Droid. The main difference between a mobile app and a native app is that the mobile app, when you download it, it knows, or when you access it from your web browser, it knows that you're holding an iPhone. It knows that you're holding an iPad. It knows that you're holding a Droid, so it knows which format to bring in for you. With the regular app, you need to have 10 versions. You need to have the Droid version, and you need to have the iPad version. And we thought, with the rate that new gadgets are coming on the market with HP and Dell, and you know, there's 20 different brands of iPads now on the market, that it would become a full-time job just designing new apps for new gadgets. I have one client that's very BlackBerry-centric, another client that's very iPhone-centric, and yet another that gives all their employees iPads. So it was just, with the addition of adding tours every week of new cities and new countries, the last thing in the world I wanted to worry about is like the ongoing technology needs, which to a certain degree you have to worry about anyway, because it's that era. So that's why we opted for the mobile app. It was just a lot easier. Another reason is that I have a targeted audience. I am going to sell my tours to the Coca-Cola company or to Pfizer. So I don't need the app stores. I don't need iTunes. A lot of walking tour companies that sell to the general public go through iTunes. I don't need that. So I don't need that distribution system. I don't need my product to be in different app stores. It comes when you buy my tour, and I'll sell you my tour directly. And then the third reason that we really lean toward the mobile app versus the native app is that iTunes and those web stores the processing and the permission granting and the authorization can really delay the launch of your app. It can really bog you down with paperwork, and we didn't do that either. So we decided on a mobile app. The development time that it took me, fortunately, we had done all the figuring out before we decided that we needed an app. So it didn't take long to take what we knew we needed and translate it into an app. The person that did my app was the same person that had designed my website, the tech person, the single gal in Austin, who was ready to go. She openly admitted that she was probably not savvy enough to create a native app for me, but she had great confidence that she could create this mobile app. And so off we went. The biggest learning curve, of course, was testing, retesting, because you think that you know what you want it to do, but until you start pushing the little buttons and seeing how it behaves and how it reacts, that's when you know, change this, change that. That was a part of this business that I thought scripting the tours was going to be hard. The cost of the app. The native apps run about $25,000 to $60,000. I'm sorry, $25,000 to $60,000 for a native app. A mobile app will run $10,000 to $30,000. The range depends on what you want it to do and how fancy you want it to get. I ended up getting mine for $4,000 because I had a relationship that I was building with my web developer, and I have her now on retainer to just deal with everything that comes up. If I have trouble with my email or my internet, I call Stacy and she fixes it. Smartest move that I ever made. And it also reduced the cost of my app. Now, Connie, you have to listen to this because you asked about this. This is the marketing of my, and this is a great technology that I just learned that you all probably know. But the way that I'm delivering this product is to put logoed earbuds with a card the size of a business card into the welcome kits of the convention that has just bought 20,000 of my tours. On this little card is a QR code, which is the thing that looks like the thing in the grocery store. I'm sure everybody knows what a QR code is. When they scan that QR code with their iPhone or their iPad, it takes them directly not only to my website and the tour, but the specific tour they want. Because the Coca-Cola tour opens with, "Hi, I'm Mr. Coca-Cola, and thank you for coming to Atlanta." And the Pfizer tour opens with, a picture of the Pfizer building. So this QR code, I have to develop a new QR code for every client that I sell this app to and this tour to. So it was another little piece of technology I learned. So all in all, I'm still learning. I'm still a work in progress. I plan the launch of this company in sometime midsummer with 21 tours. So stay tuned. My website will be, it's not up yet, it will be www.welcomewalks.com. You want to stand with me for any questions? Does anybody have any questions? I mean, again, I'm not a designer, I just tried.
You're promoting it then to companies that have conventions or that then supply it to people that attend?
Primarily because that's my background, but you can buy yours for your vacation as soon as my website does it. I mean, it is available to the public, but why sell one when, that's the business side, why sell one? Yeah.
Is your core audience inclusive of the CVBs and the meeting planner, like MPI, Meeting Planners International? Or are you going directly after the corporates?
I'm a member of MPI. I'm a member of most of the CVBs. I'm going straight for the clients.
Okay.
I do have a marketing strategy that includes Mr. Marriott and Mr. Fairmont and Mr. Hilton, but no, it's just too easy. It's a $9 item. When you buy it in quantities of 10,000, it'll be a $1 item. So I'm not making that. I mean, that's a personal decision, but I
just
hear
curious.
you thinking.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Does anybody want to stop me from my craziness and tell me I'm doing it? You?
No, I'm not going to stop you. I just want to make a break. I want to give you a shout out because many, many years ago when I was younger, I lived in Israel for a year, and the only way I could see Israel was through walking tours because I was working there as a nurse, and I spent an entire year doing walking tours, and I love them. They're the most amazing, fun things to do on your own, and I did it with a book. So I'm so excited about this. Great idea.
Thank you. That's encouraging.
We want to thank you.
Another question.
Oh, another
Sandra, one
question.
more question. Just a couple more questions.
No, I wanted to give a shout out to Lynn because she's a former client of mine when I worked for another company and we used to do business together. She was with a destination management company that would host corporate groups and meetings. Unfortunately, I was one of her suppliers that helped provide her marketing tools. So when I saw she was a speaker, I could not track her down and reconnect. There's been changes. I got married. She's got to do business. Things happen, but we're back together again. Thank you.
And I'm not going to offer you one, but if you're interested in expand, the natural progression would be to bike tours. I've got some people that I know of who would love to talk to you about that.
Okay, I'll get your card for sure. I never say never. I mean, the walking has got me busy, but I've thought about night tours. I originally had a company called Sidetracks, but I was going to do bike tracks and night tracks and kid tracks, and then, you
You
can't rule the
got all
world.
these triathlon, my brother's a triathlon.
That's a great idea.
And he goes around the country and does them. So triathloners go to Austin, Texas, or they go to Lake Placid, New York. That would work, and if you had them do it on their bikes, it'd love you even more.
Is that safe? I mean,
Yeah, as long as you
Yeah.
Don't text the pedaling. Don't text the pedaling.
The app will talk to them in their ear rather than look at a paper or look at a thing. It'll verbally tell them
That's
to
a
take a
great
right
idea.
at the Blueberry Pie Shop,
that's a great idea. Thank you.
Go back up there, Lynn. Hey, Mr. Photographer. Jim.
Yes.
Focus.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I was working.
Okay.
Sorry.